Hey, it's Birdman. Let's get ready for the community shout here in the Arizona White Mountain Podcast. It's the last one of the year. We'll understand why in just a minute. Hey, it's time for the Arizona White Mountain Community Shout. Hanging out here in the studio, and today I've got a special co-host. It's my wife. So we're doing this because it's the Christmas episode. Well, Christmas is in a couple days, so Merry Christmas to everyone. Next week we are not going to have a show at all, just so you know.
Vacation.
So if you are coming by, don't come by until next year, and we'll get things going. Of course, covering all the events, activities. We come to you weekly, so if you've got something you want to come in, it's 10 a.m. on Tuesdays normally, and you come in and shout it out and talk about what's going on. Speaking of talking about what's going on, we've got a guest this morning. Who do we have here?
Becky.
Hi.
Becky. Hi, Becky. How are you?
Good. How are you?
And you're with the Nexus Coalition for Drug Prevention, which is a tongue twister, so have fun with that.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm going to jump in because I'm really excited that you're with Nexus. I absolutely adore Becky. I think everything that she's done in the community, I mean, she's taken it to a whole nother level. And then to have somebody like you on there, because I've worked with you before, what made you decide to get into that?
Well, Vicki called me.
That helps.
No, but I've always felt passionate about trying to prevent drug abuse with kids. It's just a really hard life. And if I can do something to help, that's what I want to do.
And so what do you do for Nexus right now?
Well,
what is your job?
So I'm a prevention specialist, and I'm going to focus on the Blue Ridge School District. And so up around here and Cholo School District. And we focus on getting into the classroom, hopefully drug prevention. We teach life skills, and we also do other training for trauma and for Narcan. That's something that we really want to try to push.
So I wanted to mention, so Nexus Coalition has actually contracted us here at Birdman Media to be talking about opioids, about fentanyl specifically, and about Narcan.
Yeah.
And Narcan is something that if you haven't seen it, it's starting to even seep into the Hollywood thing. So they're starting to show it there. We watched an episode of Dexter the other night, which we're probably behind on, but whatever, where literally the kid OD'd and they had to use Narcan and saved him. So it's important. You're just getting into this. I won't put you on the spot, but Narcan availability is...
What's awesome is most people are very scared of Narcan because they think that it's an injection. But Narcan is not an injection. You can get it, the naloxone, which is the generic Narcan. If you can squirt something up somebody's nose, then you can save a life. Yeah, cool. And that's all it is.
So Becky, I know that we had an incident where we're searching for Narcan here for a friend of mine who needed to go give it to an individual, and we got lucky somebody had it in their car, but it needs to be everywhere. How do people, as we're starting to understand that this is so valuable, how do people access the training, the resource? How do they connect?
Well, through Nexus Coalition for Drug Prevention, we are trying to get together with the fire department to train people and make it more accessible. And we are going to be able to get a lot of the Narcan so that we can distribute it throughout the community.
And not just specifically the fire department, but actual everybody. Everybody can learn how to use it.
And if people are interested and they want to take the training, they can go to NCDP.rocks.
Yep.
They can go to that website and, just email.
And click the link down below. We'll have it right there. It makes it easy for everybody. That's a nice thing of being online is you just click and go.
Yeah.
If you ever need any questions answered, you can always reach out to them. You can reach out to us to get you connected to that resource. Now, this comes about, drugs, drug use, all that kind of stuff comes usually because people are either stressed or they're uncertain about life or things like that. We're in the holiday season, and it's a time some people get stressed. I mean, you get different personalities. People have different topics that they are passionate about. So can you give us some idea of things that people can do right now to cope with a little bit of stress?
Yeah. Well, of course, the holidays are very stressful. And for some people, they are very sad because they've lost loved ones. And sometimes we would just want to change the way that we feel. And we want to help I'll give you some ideas of how to change the way you feel that's productive and healthy. So we have some coping skills that we like to teach. Of course, deep breathing.
I use that a lot.
Also, some type of meditation is very good. Just distractions, like maybe cleaning, reading. If you're feeling down, you can do stuff like that. Play with your pets is so therapeutic, to go play with your pets. Exercise, of course, taking a walk around the block, or just breathing cold air, I think is really helpful. You could dance.
Nice.
Yeah, somebody
That's
told me
a
that
good
the
one.
other day. She's like, go dance. And I'm like, I'm going to put some crazy music on and dance with the kids.
Because those are ways to change the way that you feel, and to draw. And also, it's always nice to talk to somebody that you trust. If you're a youth, to talk to a trusted adult is also really good to talk about feelings. So.
Awesome. Once again, Becky, thank you very much,
Thanks
and
for having
congratulations
me.
on the new job.
Thank you.
With Nexus Coalition Drug Prevention.
Thanks.
Still hanging out in the studio, and now we have with us something you're really excited about.
Yes, I
Okay.
brought my friends in. I brought Rozlyn, and I brought Khelsey in, and I met them through the MOMAZ program, which is pretty cool.
And Mama's is?
Mothers in Arizona Moving Ahead.
Okay.
So I was a single mom once upon a time, and so it aligned with how difficult it can be in the community to be a single mom. It's not easy in a community that doesn't, we're missing childcare, wouldn't you guys say? Childcare is kind of an issue?
Childcare is a huge issue.
Yes, yeah. We know because we have kids locked in my office
You
right
hear
now.
them in the
Yeah,
background.
my kids.
There you go.
But I learned about MOMAZ, and I really, working with Pam and Molly, and I just really wanted to be a part of it and meet cool women, and I got to be. And so recently I've worked with these two on some projects that we've done. And so, Khelsey, Roz, I want you to tell people how you got involved with MOMAZ, if you don't mind. Khelsey, if you can go first.
Mine is just a weird story. So I was actually working at my mom's coffee shop when she had it Bloom and Bean. And Ernie had walked in and he's like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, I'm doing good. And he like hugged me. He's like, you can tell me the truth. And I just like started breaking down crying. I was like, I'm not doing too good. And he was like, well, I have this program through the church that's going on, and I can see if there's a spot available for you. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, it's not a handout. And I'm like, I'm not looking for a handout. I'm looking for something to help me like get ahead with my kids. And so he called Molly McGavick, and she sat there and was like, actually, we just had a mom drop out today. So she came over in 30 minutes, did my interview, I did my application, and she picked me up later that day because I did not have a car then. And she picked me up later that day to go to the MOMAZ program, and that's when I walked in and saw a whole bunch of mamas there. And she was sitting on a couch.
Did you know her before?
No, I did not know her at all.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
one bit.
I thought you guys had known each other forever.
Nope.
No.
We met through the MOMAZ program.
So how did it work out for you, Roz?
My mom actually heard it on the radio, and she called me and she's like, go sign up for this class. And like, I was very like sketchy about it at first because I'm not the type of person that goes out and hangs out with people like, and especially things like that, like a class for moms. I didn't really want to do it. And my mom ended up convincing me, and I went and I seen Molly and Pam and Devin. They all did my interview, and we talked for like, it felt like ever. And then I left, and Molly called me, and she's all, hey, want to be part of our program? And I was all, sure.
So are you guys glad that you did it? That's the first question.
I am, because the one thing that came out of it that changed my life forever is my best friend. She's literally kept me strong through everything, and when she's having a hard time, like, I'm lifting her up, and when I'm having a hard time, she's lifting me up. So yes, we did learn a lot about poverty and stuff with moms that are single and all that stuff, like things that people go through in life. And it's a hard program to go through. But the one thing that I learned the most is that there is someone that can lift you up through the hard times. So she's my best friend, and that's the best thing that's happened with my MOMAZ program. Sorry.
Not time for that.
And Roz, so how did it do for you?
It's done a lot for me. say I went into this program living at my mom's house in a tiny bedroom, and I shared it with my daughter, and like we like measured it, and it's the size of a jail cell, but it didn't have like the bathroom accessories. I had no windows. It was like a closet. And that's where we were staying. And I'm very thankful for it, and I'm like not mad about it because my mom did let me live with her with my kid. But I got into the program, and a couple months after starting, they got me into my housing. And so that was amazing because going on 8-9 months, I've been in my own place, and my daughter's attitude has completely changed, and we're just very comfortable. And then I met Khelsey. And she's been a big lifesaver because I've gone through some stuff, and she's been there. And that's one of the biggest things I'm thankful for. But the MOMAZ program, like, it taught us things that I didn't know. I didn't know we had so much help in our community. I had no idea about the recenter. I had no idea about the places that did like food boxes or any of the resources that we learned in that time. I knew nothing about any of them. So I've learned about a lot of resources, and all of our resources have in some way helped.
And from what I see, they're teaching you how to move forward and get out
Yep.
of
Yes,
poverty.
they do.
And I want to mention one thing about poverty that, you know, I'm not a mama. I'm not in the program.
But he's a papa.
I'm not connected to the program. But from the outside and watching some of the things that have been going on, I've noticed that specifically, it doesn't take much to mess you up. So literally one misstep, which in normal life would be like, oh, well, yep, you got to pay for it. So, you know, buck it up and go. If you're at the poverty level, you make one little mistake, it's devastation, and it's cascading devastation. So specifically, I think we had an incident that just recently occurred.
Yeah, with Khelsey and the vehicle.
Yes.
And so I've talked about this a little bit and I've explained it to people, but it was just one missed payment because you couldn't get the payment in that created this cascade of issues.
No.
Okay.
So I had gotten into the accident. I had gotten into a car accident.
Yeah.
And I didn't get cited, and neither did the other lady. But my car had gotten towed that day. And that night, I was actually on the phone with my insurance, with my Gap insurance, everything. And the crazy story is I actually renewed my insurance that morning.
Yes.
And then I got into my accident that afternoon, and they told me, sorry, we can't do anything for you because it's a 24-hour no coverage. And I was like, what? Yeah. And you actually called on that because you were like, this is bullcrap. No, this can't happen. But so that happened. And
So I want to pause on that. I want everybody to realize what she just said. She bought insurance, had an issue, and then they come back and said, oh, no, you don't get insurance. You got to wait for 24 hours and then get insurance, which I've never heard of, and I'm pretty sure everyone out there is going to have about the same response.
It's called Bristol
Yes.
West.
Bristol
and
West.
Part of farmers, so just so everybody know.
Yes. So Bristol West, they actually told me that. And because they told me that, my Gap insurance said we can't do anything about it. They told me that they were going to take my car out of the towing yard, and they would pay for the fines that were happening with the car, and they would put it towards like my lease in a way, my loan. And then they would auction it off, and once that auction off got done and fully put through, they were going to put the money that was in the auction towards the car loan.
And how'd that go?
They left my car in there.
Yeah, they did nothing.
And you ended
so
up
now-
with a $520
$520 penalty for an abandoned vehicle that was, I guess, abandoned on Borden Ranch Road, even though it wasn't. But, you know, so that caused me not to be able to register or get the title in my name on a vehicle that was given to me recently, because I've been carless and trying to find rides to work, trying to find rides to get my kids to school. And it's just been to the point to where people kind of overcharge me in a way. Like I've had to pay $180 for a month of not using a car. I've had to pay insurance on somebody's car before. I've had to fill people's tanks multiple times. And even just a ride into work and not back home is $20 in gas. So me as a single mom who's paying for everything with my kids, it's hard to get around when it's not your own vehicle and you're trying to pretty much please people to get places that you need to be for your kids.
And you're getting exploited for it because your back's against the wall. And that's something that bothers me about poverty is a lot of the times individuals that are having a hard time. I know poverty I very well. And it seems as if it's just like one thing out. You're stuck in that wall. You're stuck against the wall, so people can take more advantage of you because you need it.
So in the interest of time, but I want to get to one point that we want to make definitely here. You got gifted a car.
I did.
Okay. To get that car, then you had to take care of that money
Fine, yes.
to be able to get the car. So literally at night, she's calling me trying to figure something out. And it's funny because she was calling me and I was literally like stuck on, well, just go online and do it. It was like, no, I wouldn't let her do it because you had
The abandoned vehicle, it had the stop on my,
So you did a video, reached out to the community, and the result was?
In 3 hours, we had the money to pay for the fine. You ended up paying, she already had the money for the rest of it. We just ended up getting and paying the fine. And that's something that I've noticed. You know in the community how they say it takes a village? Like you guys have created your own village and connecting with each other and supporting each other and helping each other through the times. But we have people in our community that really are rooting for everybody to just be able to achieve more. And you talked about in the beginning of the program, there were 10 women in there.
Yes.
And now there's the Fearless Four, the
The
Fantastic
Fantastic Four,
Four.
yep.
Yeah. So that's how you weed out the people who are in it for the wrong reason.
Yep.
You guys put your children first. You put your whole community, you let your community know that, you know what? That's not for me. You guys are both brilliant, beautiful women. I know. I'm not just saying that because I've known you. I've been blessed to meet you. I've seen it constantly. You put things aside to get things done. And it takes some serious maturity to be able to do that. And just a lot of people aren't there yet with the prioritization or anything. And so
I agree.
it's cool to watch people go through the program because eventually you're going to turn around and you give back to the program. Something that you don't know, one of the girls in the program was able to donate some of that funding.
Really?
And it made her feel amazing.
So there you go. Key in on that is the fact that these were regular people helping, benefiting these girls. And that's, they're moving forward. They're not going to need that benefit moving forward because they're learning the skills to move them forward. It wasn't a government program. It wasn't government money. It was people handing directly to them to support and help, not to just, give and be there to always give.
That's like Rozlyn always says, these are my people.
Yep.
Like we have the people. I mean, I met Roz first, then I met Khelsey. I mean, these are my girls. I'm proud of them, and they're going to be. They turn heads now, but just wait. It's pretty awesome.
Very cool.
No, just kidding.
Okay, so one of the things about the MOMAZ program that you wanted to make sure that everybody knows is they need more mentors, correct?
Yeah. We need people out there with special skills that can come in and mentor these women and just be either somebody to listen, somebody to connect them with services. I will always work with the MOMAZ program so I can be a mentor to the mentors. I know a lot of the resources in the community, but those girls need that, just like Roz had said, and Khelsey, they need people to be on their side. They need people to help them move through getting out of poverty. So it's going from survive to thrive.
Okay, so we're going to put the contact information for MOMAZ down below.
Yes.
And if you have resources or if you would like to get involved, please contact them. Or if you want to make a donation to them, you can do that as well.
Yeah, we need to surround these girls with, how you say, you want to be successful. You need to surround yourself with successful people. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for successful women that can connect with these girls and inspire them to continue to move forward.
Hey, that's going to be it for this week's Community Shout, and actually, that's going to be it for the year here in the Community Shout. We'll see you next year. And from my family to yours, we'd like to say Merry Christmas.